Hello, and welcome to the Megan Taylor Creative Podcast, a show for entrepreneurs looking to grow their business by digital marketing. In this episode, I'll be sharing with you my top tips on how you can reach topical authority the right way. Let's get started. In this episode of the Megan Taylor Creative Podcast, I wanted to sit down and talk about how to reach topical authority and whether or not it's possible for small business owners such as myself to reach topical authority. I think topical authority is one of those magical SEO phrases that when we hear, we think if we could just get there, if we could just reach topical authority, then all of our SEO problems would be solved. But actually getting there is quite a struggle. I think that what it means to actually cover a topic in full is different for every industry and every topic. There are different ways to approach covering a topic as well, and there's always different angles and new information coming out about topics that, as industries evolve, that make reaching this status quite difficult. So I'm going to discuss my strategies specifically for small business owners who maybe have limited content marketing resources. So in other words, they're kind of doing all the content themselves, and how they can reach topical authority faster so that they can be in a better place to improve their organic rankings and be able to bid for much more competitive keywords that have much higher search volume. So as always, this is going to be quite a long episode, so let's just get straight into it. Before we can actually reach topical authority and implement the tactics to do so, we actually need to understand what it is. And simply put, topical authority is when a website essentially completely covered a topic in full, and search engines kind of recognize that. And because of that, that website is the go-to for information within that topic because it's got a completely comprehensive library of content. And obviously, this is great for several reasons. Firstly, for your users, because it means that they can spend more time on your site as they dig deeper and deeper into the topic. You'll be able to provide them with a completely comprehensive, holistic overview of that topic. But also, it's obviously great for your rankings because it means that any keyword related to your content pillar, you'll be able to essentially kind of bypass the rankings because, again, Google really recognizes topical authority. And if your website is a website that's been recognized as a website that has reached this status for your particular content pillar, then you will actually be able to stand a better chance of ranking for higher quality competitive keywords that have way more search volume than, say, long tail keywords, which is generally the strategy for smaller businesses who don't yet have that much authority on Google and other search engines. Now that we know what topical authority is, let's actually look at how you can build topical authority the right way. And it's worth saying that this is a trial and error process that requires a lot of creative thinking if you want to identify all the talking points within your chosen topic. And the truth is that it's a very long process. And with some niches, unless you have a huge content marketing team that's writing new content every day, it's almost impossible to truly cover a topic in full. But there are definitely ways that small business owners can get around that. And we'll kind of talk about my approach to improving your chances of actually reaching topical authority and covering a topic in full that isn't going to eat away at your time, but at the same time, it's going to be worth doing because you will have an easier time when it comes to targeting competitive keywords and just generally improving your SEO efforts and your SEO rankings overall. So with that in mind, the first tactic that you can implement into your strategy for reaching topical authority is to choose the right content pillars. And I have a lot of things to say about content pillars. They're one of my favorite topics to talk about, but they're also quite a point of frustration for people who I think don't necessarily understand what content pillars are and what the purpose of content pillars serve. I think because so many small business owners, they get excited about creating content and they focus on the content that they want to create, but it could actually be completely different to the sort of content that will actually help them improve their business and appeal to their target audience. And I think that's something that sets, say, for example, influencer marketing, where influencers are generally in control of their content. Sure, they might leverage their audience and tap into their needs as well, but generally speaking, they can decide what type of content to create. But with business blogging and creating content for businesses in general, we don't have as much freedom in a sense that the content we create is entirely for our audience. So therefore, we need to choose content pillars that will allow us to stick within a particular topic and help us better provide content and more organized content that's going to help the user reach their problem. And the best way to choose content pillars, especially if you're looking to reach topical authority, is to stick to the pillars within your industry that you really know. Obviously, what I've just said, it's all about your target audience, but if you're solving an issue for your audience, your business is solving an issue, and you're going to be creating content around that anyway, then to some degree the content is going to appeal to your audience. But I would stick to the topics within that industry that you are most comfortable with. And the reason why I say this is because if you already have an intrinsic understanding of that topic, it's going to be a lot easier to be able to cover it in full. You're going to have a much easier time writing more detailed, long form pieces of content that kill two birds in one stone and delve into multiple talking points at once. So it'll be easier to completely cover that topic much quicker. And also, you'll just be able to give more real life expertise that will really help to improve Google's trust in your content and also your audience's trust in your content. One of the 7 principles of the creative content marketing methodology, which is the methodology that my content marketing agency uses every time we sit down to create content, is to use your life experiences. And this is with reason, because everyone has different life experiences and different scenarios that they can draw from that have really helped to improve their fundamental understanding of a topic. And you want to use that to help you really identify these talking points. And so therefore you should use the same principle for choosing your content pillars. The thing is that, you can obviously research a topic as much as possible, but without that kind of fundamental understanding, you will have to spend a lot more time researching. You might never reach topical authority because you might actually be missing out on a lot of key talking points. Whereas if you know a topic inside and out, you know exactly what you need to cover and how and when you should cover those talking points. So my next top tip for reaching topical authority, especially as a small business owner, is to create pillar pages. And pillar pages are a great way. They're great, obviously, because they help Google further understand your content and what it is that you have to offer and whether you really offer a comprehensive view of that topic. But they're actually really great for you in terms of organizing content and understanding exactly what content you have and what content is missing within your content arsenal. And I think that so many marketers that are new to business blogging, they put off making pillar pages because they don't think they have enough content. But that doesn't matter. I think if you create pillar pages from the very beginning, then that is going to actually really help you solidify your content marketing strategy moving forward, because you're going to be able to identify, okay, what don't I have? What content should I really have on my website if I want to be a serious competitor in my industry? The kind of real priority cornerstone pieces of content that you should be making straight away, and then over time you can kind of delve into the more specialist topics that are still necessary to ensure that you are building trust and building credibility and gaining favor with search engines. The next couple of tips that I have for you should help you kind of identify furthermore what your content pillars should be and how to actually kind of go about drafting your pillar pages. The next thing that you need to do if you want to reach topical authority in a genuine and helpful way that's going to really help your target audience solve their issues is to do keyword research to find all the talking points in your chosen content pillars. And keyword research is one of those things that I think people have limited views on how to use it, but I personally like to use it not only to identify the highest volume keywords and the long tail keywords that are easy to rank for, but it's actually a really useful exercise to do to find key phrases that your target audience are genuinely typing into Google. And the good thing about this is that they might be typing phrases that are completely surprising to you or make you look at a topic from a different angle. And, most of the major keyword tools such as Ahrefs or SEMrush, my personal favorite is Ahrefs, but I know SEMrush also has a similar feature where it essentially suggests related keywords, which will actually help you think about how to talk about a topic in a different way and maybe from a different perspective that you never had thought about before. So when doing keyword research in the context of trying to find all the talking points so that you can reach topical authority, you should obviously focus more on finding topical keywords. So for instance, I find that the best keywords for this are keywords that are written like a question, because you can directly answer that user's question and you know that whatever you've just written will be useful in some way. And these types of keywords, they're a really good starting point to just generally helping you generate more topic ideas and getting a better picture of your topic as a whole, because they're the fundamental questions, and the more you ask questions, the more questions you'll have to ask as well, and the more you'll want to know and dig deeper into a topic, and it will just help you reach the very core of that topic at hand. The next step, now that you've done your initial keyword research, is to do competitive research and still using a keyword tool like Ahrefs, because Ahrefs has a very useful tool called Content Explorer. And this tool essentially allows you to see all the top ranking results on a specific keyword. And this is really useful for several reasons. The first is that you can identify search intent, aka the reason why the user is actually typing in that query in the first place. The second is that you can identify gaps within the top ranking content and plan your content to ensure that you fill those. And the third is to help you further identify the right content pillars for you, supply your target audience with the correct information. So as I said before, search intent is essentially the user's reason for typing in a query in a search engine. The user's search intent will have a huge impact on how you write the content, because you'll be trying to achieve different things with each type of search intent. Here's kind of a brief rundown of some of the key search intents that you will be addressing on a regular basis and what they mean. The first is a transactional intent, and this is when the user's ready to buy. They just need a bit more of a push. They don't necessarily know exactly what product they want to buy, but they know they need a product. They just need a little bit more information and some suggestions. The next search intent, which is probably going to be the one that especially service-based providers will be tackling the most, is informational intent. And this is when the user wants to learn about something specific. And we kind of refer back to the search phrases that are written like a question, those real topical keywords. The user really wants to find out something specific. And this type of user is normally within the awareness stage of the buyer's journey. So where they have discovered that they have an issue and they want to resolve it, but they're not quite sure how, so therefore they're doing a lot of research to try and find the main cause of their issues. And the last major search intent that you will be dealing with on a regular basis is navigational intent, and this is just where the user intends on visiting a specific website such as Instagram or Facebook. This kind of search intent can also be used in the context of, say for example, if a user wants to visit a specific website for an accountancy-based service or a specific digital marketing agency that's gotten really good reviews and is really kind of buzzing in its industry, they will type in the brand name specifically with the purpose of finding that brand. But sometimes, you can leverage that search and use things, especially in paid search, like negative keywords, to still kind of show up in those results as like an alternative option. So it's still kind of important to keep navigational intent in mind, even though they're not going to be as prominent as transactional and informational intent. But how do these search intents help you reach topical authority? Why are they important? Well, to me, the reason why search intent is so important, this answer can be found in Google's EAT guidelines, which is the guidelines that Google uses to help them understand whether or not a piece of content is informative and whether or not it should be pushed out in search engines for the targeted keywords. And essentially, one way that Google determines whether they're going to push your content to the top of its search rankings is by identifying just how helpful it is to the users, not only in terms of it being informative, but also in the context of whether the content actually helps the user to achieve their final goal. For instance, if the user is typing a keyword to buy something and your content only serves as an informational piece, then this isn't actually addressing the user's search intent. Therefore, it's not helping the user achieve its final goal, and therefore it's not that relevant, so likely won't be shown in search results for your targeted keyword. However, if you've written something like a listicle which suggests the best products or services that the user is looking for, then this is going to help the user get one step closer to what they're trying to achieve, and that will be an indicator to Google that your content is insightful and thus should be shown in SERPs, because it's going to get the user to interact with the platform and buy something and continue to use your website. So you may also be wondering, where we spoke about earlier, how identifying gaps can really help with improving your chances of reaching topical authority and how competitor research can help you do that. But where does identifying gaps come into this as well? So like search intent, identifying gaps for your competitors' content and filling them in your own content also improves the overall quality of your content, as you are providing users with a more well-rounded experience. And obviously you really want to beat your competitors in search rankings, and the best way to do this is essentially by providing your users with better content. And if you do this, then your content is more likely to be shown because it is more informative, more engaging, more helpful, and Google will recognize this. And just using your competitors as a baseline of what's good but also what's missing will really help you stay just one step ahead of them in the bid to rank for your targeted keywords. The last tip that I have for you to reach topical authority in the right way, and this kind of goes without saying, but it is to write high quality content. And a large part of building topical authority is to do with the quality of the content itself. Now, there's a number of definitions for quality content, but to me, high quality content refers to any content that's packed with value. And value can mean like a whole host of things, but generally speaking, you'll either be providing value in the form of entertainment and or education. And again, the user search intent for the query that you're answering, addressing, should help you to establish what type of value you need to provide within a certain piece of content in order to be truly helpful to your audience. For instance, if you're trying to rank for a keyword that has an informational search intent, for example, then you'll want to focus on providing as much information as possible. And if you want to kind of go one step further in making sure that your content really is valuable, then you want to go above and beyond what's expected of you. So provide that extra bit of information. And a lot of the guidelines that my agency, Megan Taylor Creative, the creative content marketing methodology, they were created specifically to help you to do that, specifically to help you to think outside of the box and think about, okay, what is it that we can do to make our content really stand out? What extra bits of information that we can provide that our competitors just aren't giving to help our users that just one step further? Because going that extra mile, I think your users will often really appreciate, and that will help again build trust, and they'll start coming to you for more content, and hopefully whenever they're ready to buy, they might actually choose you as a solution because they know that you're going the extra mile in your content. So therefore you're likely to have that same philosophy when you're actually delivering the service or product that you offer. And I know it can be really challenging to go the extra mile, especially when you think about how much time and effort is put into making free content versus the amount of time that you could be spending on money making activities. But I really just encourage you to think about this in the long run. It's an investment. If you put the effort in now to making high value content, then this will help grow your business further down the line, and essentially the high value content will directly contribute to business growth and will become a money making activity itself. So it really is worth putting the extra effort in the early stages to fuel business growth in the early days and continue to contribute to business growth. Obviously, once your business is more established, you can still grow your business through your valuable content. So yeah, that's it. That's everything. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed recording this episode because, again, I love talking about content strategy and SEO and just generally helping small businesses to reach their goals and to grow their brand through organic forms of marketing. Obviously, all of this, you need to be able to put in the work to do it. But if you don't have the time or you need an extra helping hand to kind of reach topical authority, then there's no shame in asking for help as well. So many businesses will hire marketing managers, they'll hire content marketers to do this as their full-time job. So it's no wonder that so many small business owners struggle to make content alongside doing what their business actually requires of them and providing their customers with their service or developing new products that's going to help them reach the demands of the market. As always, if you like this episode, please like the video and share it on social media, and please also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be made aware of new episodes every time they drop. And as always, thank you so much for listening, and I will speak to you next week. Bye.